up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Tom, it's just a tough subject. A recent study by Brown University showed that nearly 450 children are killed each year by their parents.
My daughters were picked up on a Friday by their father to spend the weekend, and that night he pumped carbon monoxide into their bedroom and slit their throats.
Justice have begun for 2 children killed by their mother in Pickens County.
9-year-old Hayden King was laid to rest today. Hayden's 4-year-old sister Harper will have a celebration of life service tomorrow morning.
Here's the story that's breaking at 6 o'clock. It's all centered around the 3 people you see on your screen. The key pieces in a Middletown murder case.
On the left is James Hutchinson. Police say the 6-year-old was killed allegedly by his own mother.
East Los Angeles mother was charged today with killing her 3 young children. The youngest was less than 2 months old.
At 6 with breaking news.
Good evening to you, friends. Greg Merriweather along with Elizabeth Val. Our top story today, that precious little 2-year-old right now. 2 people are facing charges accused of murdering little Nevaeh Allen. Investigators found the 2-year-old dead in Mississippi after several days of searching.
One of those blamed in her death, the girl's mother, Laniah Cardwell.
Starting over. Why? It's not starting over. It should start over. There it is.
Crime fighters. Hello, everybody. It's Bullhorn Betty. Happy Friday.
You know what time it is? Grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever it is you're drinking. Let's get into it.
As you guys know, we have a coffee club here where we meet almost every morning.
And it's not just coffee and conversations, right?
We're not just sitting around having coffee and conversating. We're not. We're actually out here in the trenches helping advocate for victims and victims' families.
And then you come to my channel. You see me raising awareness about these victims. You see me raising awareness about these victims' families.
And then you see me take action. I go out and I advocate for them. I'm their voice. I'm their champion. I'm their voice, I'm their champion. I'm their voice, I'm their champion. Beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters. Beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters. Beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters. Beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters. So I just want to give you a little bit of encouragement. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You know, if you are out there fighting for the victims, keep on doing what you're doing. If you're out there trying to advocate for the victims' families, keep on doing what you're doing. If you're out there, boots on the ground, keep on doing what you're doing. Beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters. Beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters. Beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters. Beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters, beautiful crime fighters.
I know you are not perfect. Nobody is perfect, right? You're not perfect. But guess what?
God made you perfect. He made you perfectly you. You are perfectly you. You are perfectly you. He made you perfectly you. You are perfectly you. You are perfectly you.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. TGIF to all of my beautiful crime fighters advocating
For victims of crime, we will not stop, we will not slow down, and we will keep the victims first, foremost, and front and center. It's nice to see you. Medic Biker is with us. I hope you're still doing well. We're getting pretty close. Our favorite Melanie up in the chat. She has some stuff that we need to be putting our hands on and praying for her, as well as many other people in our chat right now that is struggling with something. Hand it over, cut the balloon tie and let it go. Give it to God. Let live, where I just lost my train of thought, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. We have a couple different cases before we jump into our new case. Our new case is serious, okay? This is all hands on deck. I'm surprised we haven't heard of this case sooner, but we haven't. We're coming into this case literally almost a year in. Not quite, but almost a year in. And Ja'Niyah McMichael is who we're going to be discussing today. This is a horrible case. And I'm not really willing to go in or dive into even the introductory of this until we're through our morning part. Now, many of you guys that have been with me for a while, we broke a case going on in the state of Florida. This was back when we were getting up ridiculously early in the morning. His name is Thomas Kosowski. If you guys don't remember this, or you're new to my channel because of, say, the Sebastian Rogers case or one of the newer cases that we've covered, you may have missed this particular segment. It wasn't an entire show devoted to this man. It was back when we were doing a lot of different breaking stories in the morning that picked up on one of our shows. And this was a plastic surgeon. If I'm remembering correctly, I'm almost confident this is the stuff. I mean, we're going to read and everything like that, but I didn't really read the history of this case. And this was one where this plastic surgeon was fired from his job. And he was basically saying that this company he used to work for was ruining his reputation, ruining his life. He was just about to go to court with the surgical center, I believe, if I'm getting all the facts correctly. Long story short, this plastic surgeon ended up gunning down this attorney that he was supposed to go before. He lived in a beautiful, gorgeous home. From everything we were learning, this Thomas guy was starting to lose everything. And he believed he was this magnificent plastic surgeon. They ended up finding blood on his vehicle, blood in his garage. That was about the time we were talking about it. And then nothing. This was one, if you guys remember, somebody walked into the bathroom or something and there was literally blood everywhere. That is the case that we're talking about. This is Thomas Kosowski. Now, why are we bringing him up when we haven't talked about him in a really, really, really long time? Very simple. There has been some changes in his case. There he is. Let me see if I can pull that up a little bit bigger. So he's this dude right here. Let's see if we can make his photo. Let me see if I can find a photo of him a little bit bigger for you guys to see. Maybe you guys will recognize his face, because this is the face that, there we go. That is him. That's Thomas. Threw his entire life away because he had problems with his employment. And that's basically what it comes down to. And a doctor that, no matter if you're a plastic surgeon or not, you've taken an oath to save people, right? We do not believe in vigilante justice. And not only that, this was not a permanent problem. Even if he was sued, even if he lost his case, even if he lost $100,000, it is not worth somebody's life. We have bankruptcy laws in this country. We have a lot of, a lot of things out there that can help prevent us from feeling hopeless, right? When it comes to finances and our inability or our ability to pay those finances. This guy took a temporary problem and made it a permanent one, not just for him, but for the family of the man that he executed for just doing his job. And you know how I feel about that, because this is right on the heels of Louis Mangione, or Mangione. I still haven't figured out, because I've listened to several different news organizations, and they all say it different. Some say it Mangione, some call him Mangione. I'm just going to say Mangione until I hear it from somebody that I know is saying it correctly. Maybe somebody that's from that has Italian blood running through them could probably tell me how to properly pronunciate that last name. But I digress. Anyways, the shocking revelation on this case is we know that this guy is a little woohoo, right? I mean, plastic surgeons typically don't go and unalive attorneys that are opposing them, okay? I mean, if that were the case, there would be no attorneys, okay, in this country. Let's be honest. If we got mad and unalived every single attorney we hated or that was representing somebody against us or for us or whatever the case may be, we wouldn't have attorneys, right? We wouldn't have attorneys. So I digress. Anyways, what has happened in his case? Holy smokies. Okay. Holy smokies. His entire defense team canceled. Like they want nothing to do with him. He's such a smug prick that he's on the phone with his mama telling his mom that he doesn't want his criminal defense attorney getting one red cent. He wants to keep his attorney. He's upset and shocked that his attorney is leaving him and wants to get out of his case. And it's all because of him talking shit about his attorney. And I talk shit about, I just lost my audio on this. I talk, smack about Terry Frizzell. He's a horrible attorney. I would never trust him. I would never trust him in a million years. Give me a second. My, oh, good gracious. There we go. Let me try it again. Love StreamYard. They want me to advertise StreamYard. Okay. Maybe I can get the video. All of this just to show you guys the stinking video. It wasn't worth it. Thomas is not that worth it to me. I'm just saying. He's just not. All right. Let's let this lag on this program. There we go. Oh, good gracious. For F's sake, WFLA, can we get some, you would think that their website would be a little bit better than this. Look at that. Just popping all over the place. All of these advertisements on WFLA just to get to a video. It's just, that's why it's moving. It's just popping. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. Good gracious. If I can get it to stop popping. Can we get volume? Thank you, WFLA. You'd act like they don't want people to go to their website or listen to their segments. This is ridiculous.
Plastic surgeon.
Okay, let's go back.
Today during a court hearing for a local surgeon accused of murdering a local lawyer.
News Channel 8's Jenna Bass was in the courtroom.
Tensions ran high between Dr. Thomas Kosowski, the plastic surgeon accused of murder, and his own lawyer in a Clearwater courtroom today, resulting in his entire legal team withdrawing from his case.
This is a serious matter. Like, when you're in the middle of a murder trial, the last thing that is recommended is changing defense teams. I mean, sometimes it's necessary. But this man and his attorney aren't working well together at all. And I can understand why. I mean, he is in jail for murdering somebody that he didn't work well with. So, I mean, there's
no way to resolve the ethical conflict.
During today's motion hearing, bombshell accusations from Kosowski's lawyer, Bjorn Brunvand, came to light against Kosowski. He's accusing his legal team of fraud and forgery, among other ethical issues and conflicts.
The conflict is money. Bjorn wants to get paid, basically. That's the conflict.
Brunvand's request to quit as his lawyer, however, seemingly catching Kosowski off guard.
This all comes as a complete surprise to me.
Kosowski is accused of the 2023 murder of Penella.
He is caught off guard by it, but it's because of his attorney, which I think it was the state attorney that sent it to him, because I don't see why an attorney for their client would be pulling, call logs from jail unless he's concerned about what may be in them or what may, the prosecution may bring up. I can see that being the case. But the attorney actually listened to these jailhouse conversations between Kosowski and his mom. And you're about to hear those.
County lawyer Stephen Causey. He's now facing the death penalty for first-degree murder. Mr. Brunvand says jail recordings between Kosowski and his mother show he intended to fire him and sue him for money.
That he's instructing his mother to make sure that I don't ever get a penny and that he's going to ask for every dime back that he paid me. Okay? And those are things that I could say that I don't know that that's really going to be detrimental. There are other things that I'm not comfortable saying.
To which Kosowski replied he would waive attorney-client privilege in open court.
Okay, so that means whatever it is you told him, he's going to tell the court. Are you sure you want to do that?
Let's do it.
The judge briefly sending Kosowski.
That is a very dangerous move. That is a very dangerous move because you consult with your attorney. Your attorney has detrimental information, and I don't think in a murder, the case is pretty solid against him. Okay, there is that. He doesn't really have a whole lot to lose here because from everything I could see in this investigation, it was done very well. They have the necessary elements and evidence to support the state's claim for first-degree murder, and I agree that is appropriate. He did plan this out. He took great care in trying to cover up the crime, and it was him and him alone that carried out this disgusting act.
Kosowski and his legal team away to meet in an attempt to resolve their internal issues, but ultimately granting Brunvand's request.
So, as you heard, I just thought it was interesting. We've got another one where a Wisconsin man, if you guys want to check this out, I'm not going to go through it because we're going to be running short on time. I want to get to the new case that we are covering. A Wisconsin man is accused of chaining up a girl in basement and leaving her to drink out of a puddle of water. I may end up running that case later today. But as of right now, if you guys would like to review that case and get some information, you're more than welcome to. Again, that's in the state of Wisconsin. We have, this is an interesting one. It's out of my state. It's in Lakeland, Florida, and a man is charged with his friend's murder. And it's because they got into a bar fight and guns were pulled and one person lost their life. And the cause of that was the man's friend. So he is being charged right now in Lakeland in a bar fight for killing his friend, even though it wasn't his gun that shot his friend. And I think that's super important to my audience. We have youngsters. These were 28 and 29-year-old kids. The man that did ultimately kill the guy, he pled self-defense, and he was okay. Law enforcement did not arrest him, did not charge him because it was, in fact, self-defense. And people don't realize you cannot go up and start a fight with people or put your hands on somebody. They have the right to use lethal force. Okay? They have a right, especially in Florida. Of all the states in the United States, Florida by far has some of the strongest self-defense laws here, in my opinion. We have stand your ground. We have a whole host of stuff. We even made it difficult for law enforcement to arrest people when they state it's self-defense. Once upon a time, it didn't matter. If somebody lost their life and there was a shooting, everybody went to jail. That's the way our laws used to be here in the state of Florida. And it took the people that were that defended themselves an ungodly amount of money, ruining their entire lives when they committed absolutely no crimes. And we swiftly fixed that issue here in the state of Florida. When you come to the state of Florida, if you pull out a firearm, be prepared to be met with a firearm. You do not threaten people. You do not put your hands on people. And by God, please, 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 if you're having a verbal altercation, why ignite it into something even more? Verbal is verbal. Turn around, say your piece, walk away. There is no reason why a verbal confrontation, somebody has a problem with you or you have a problem with somebody else, does a firearm ever need to be presented. However, the kid that was shot and lost his life was the one that threw the first punch. So again, this is a terrible situation. It was a petty situation that went from petty to a massive situation where a friend is dead and his friend is now arrested and facing manslaughter charges because of, I think, maybe even second degree. Hold on, let me look and see if this is second degree or manslaughter. Give me just a second. I'm pretty sure they charged. Was it manslaughter or second degree? I read a lot of articles this morning, but this was one that I don't know what he was charged with, and I can't cursory review it either. All right, guys. So thank you for bearing with me. I just wanted to show you guys some prior stories that we had covered and a couple of new ones. Like I said, it's pretty difficult for me because we're already 20 minutes in and I really want to get to our new case. So some of these cases that we were going to be covering are now going to the wayside. Let me go ahead and pull those out so we can cover them later if I so choose. Now, the first one is part of my research in the morning. I go to two places. Well, I have a whole, you guys know, I have a whole host of search criteria to do throughout the day, but first thing in the morning predominantly. And I started incorporating going to WFLA and News Nation to see what is on their websites and see if there's anything that is related to any of the cases I've covered or looking for any new cases that need avocation. And Ja'Niyah McMichael was in a small little box down at the bottom of their page on News Nation. But I got to read it, and it just simply said $20,000 offered in a search for missing Indiana teen Ja'Niyah McMichael. And it said that the reward was being in part by the FBI. And that's what got my attention. And if you guys know anything about why that would give my attention, is the FBI does not typically fund missing person cases. Hey, Common Sense, it's nice to see you. VA, Be Betty Betty fan. Whispering Winds, Lady for Justice, it's nice to see you. Pussy Willow Pindercat, if I didn't tell you good morning this morning, good morning. WFLA gave you your handle. That is true. That is true. WFLA did call me Bullhorn Betty. So they didn't know who I was, and people were calling me Bullhorn Betty, and that name I just decided to keep. So this young girl that I never saw, I don't know if I did, you know, because we do a lot of little, we do a lot of little things here when it comes to, there we go. When it comes to cases, we do, you know, a lot of, there we go. I wanted you guys to see her face. Sorry, it was taking me so long and it was great. Look at how beautiful her little face is and her beautiful, beautiful smile. This poor girl has gone through it in life already. She disappeared when she was 13 years old. Okay. She's 14 years old now. This is the reason why all hands are on deck, because I don't believe her mother. I don't believe her mother for one split second. I don't know why, but I have spent the better part of several hours this morning digging into this case because of this specific post right here. This is all it said. There's nothing here. You know, there's very, very little here. This is the extent of the stuff that I saw. 20,000 offered in search for missing Indiana teen Ja'Niyah McMichael. And that's kind of where my story started. And so I started going in here, and many people don't realize that we do have forms in this in-house, okay? I have a lot of forms that I use whenever I am trying to put a case together. This is more of a guide. These are not my forms. These are forms that I've compiled over the years from different law enforcement agencies around this country. And so I take and start filling out as much of this paperwork as I can possibly fill out for the benefit of these cases. This is one where we've had, why isn't, okay, so there we go. This is one that I started working on this morning, but again, I don't know if we've covered this case back in 2023 on our, you know, intro in. We usually take a few cases and run them. But the reason why this is all hands on deck is not because there's a $20,000 reward. It's because of the details of this case. And it's very heartbreaking that this case was not brought to social media in a large way prior to this. We're going to go through some of these details. I'm going to tell you guys some of these details are going to be very difficult to hear. Okay? So just be prepared. I'm not going to put out a trigger warning, but you guys know what when I say stuff like that, you guys already know where this case is about to go. Okay? The details are disturbing. She's a young girl. Connect the dots. Okay? Ja'Niyah McMichael's 13 years old at the time of disappearance. She is now 14 years old. She was last seen, which is, again, speculative. I'm not going to say this was when she was last seen because there's information that I've uncovered that might show something different. Last seen on August 11th, 2024 at her home at 1300 block of Malcolm X Drive in Gary, Indiana. Missing, with FBI and Gary police suspecting foul play as of April 28, 2025. So they now believe this child has been met with foul play. The case details are reported missing by her mother, Ja'Niyah McMichael. And again, like I said, I do not believe her mother at this point. And we're going to go and we're going to preview her mom. We're going to preview some of the stuff her mom has said. A silver alert was issued on September 5th, 2024, after nearly 3-week delay, initially due to belief she was a runaway. This is why it is so blessed important for law enforcement across this nation. It is because of cases like this, we demand you follow the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which require you to turn the house and her flippin' bedroom into a blessed crime scene. We wouldn't have these delays that put our children in jeopardy if they would just follow the flippin' directives. It's very upsetting for me to hear this because when you hear this case, you're going to understand why I am upset. She's 13 years old. We haven't even gotten into the worst of it yet. The FBI Gang Response Investigative Team executed a search warrant at her home on October 5th. October 5th. 2 months later. How much evidence was removed from that house before an executed search warrant happened? This is why it's important for states around this country to adopt these practices provided by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Do we know that it's expensive to do that? Yes, we, as the American people, which fund all of this, know exactly that this is very, very expensive. But we don't mind throwing people in jail for the rest of their life instead of the DP. That's pretty damn expensive too. All for nothing. At least this expense is for something. A $10,000 reward was offered by USPA Nationwide Security for information leading to her whereabouts. Thank you, USPA, for that $10,000 reward when it was necessary. That has obviously increased. I don't know if that's now in conjunction with this new $20,000, where we have a $30,000 reward theoretically, but we'll get into that. A recent post on X indicated ongoing concern and suspicion of foul play. So I decided to go ahead and do some victimology information about this. And this is the study of the victim's lifestyle, habits, circumstances. We can kind of look. I won't have a lot of information to plug in, but we can definitely look and find that she's in a high risk, a high crime area. If you guys don't believe me, do your own research yourself. There's a lot of programs out there that help you identify crime-filled areas. She does live in one that is littered with substances. So the demographics are she's 13 years old, placing her in a vulnerable developmental stage where independence is limited and reliance on caregiver is high. She's female, potentially increasing risk of specific crimes such as trafficking, SA, victimization, especially in high-risk environments. Resident Gary, Indiana, a city known for high crime rates, including violent crime, gang activity, which elevates environmental risks. Lifestyle and habits, school, likely a middle school student, and her appearance timeline, as her appearance timeline aligns with the end of the 2023-2024 school year. No specific information on her academic performance or school involvement is available, so I had none of that information. Social connections, regular phone and video contacts with extended family members was also reported prior to the summer of 2024, suggesting a socially connected individual with her family network. This contact ceased abruptly, raising concerns. Abruptly. Limited details are available, but as a minor living with her mother, her daily routines likely revolve around the home, school, and family interactions. The lack of sighting during the summer suggests a possible disruption in her usual patterns. The risk assessment is low, medium, or high risk. Ja'Niyah falls within the medium to high risk category of victimization based on Victimology framework. Age and gender, young females are statistically higher at a higher risk of rape, such as abduction, trafficking, and assault. Environment. Gary, Indiana is a high crime area, and the FBI's involvement of the gang response investigative team suggests potential gang-related risks in her vicinity. Family dynamics. Reports of prior Indiana Department of Children and Family Services investigation into alleged grape with an R. 13 years old. 13 years old. So, again, DCS is involved, investigating her alleged R and living conditions as far as February 2024, again, several months before she disappeared. Indicates potential instability or vulnerability in her home environment. Disappearance context, the discrepancies in reporting timeline. Mother reports her on August 11th, and the family claims, remember, she had a very robust communication with her family that abruptly stopped. And the family claims no contact since June. So her mother's saying she disappeared in August, and her family's saying, wait. We have not seen or spoken to her since June. I don't believe the mother. I don't believe the mother. I think the mother's on drugs, and God knows what else she's doing. And I can tell you, it makes me pissed. This suggests possible negligence or concealment, increasing her risk. Vulnerability factors, living with a single parent, her mother, which may limit supervision compared to a dual parent household. Alleged prior victimization, she was AR'd, according to DCS reports, which could indicate repeated targeting or exposure to unsafe individuals. Lack of immediate silver alert issuance suggests initial misclassification as a runaway. And again, the only person I have to blame for these types of discrepancies and misclassification is law enforcement. Could they have helped this child? They may have. They may have. I don't like being hard on law enforcement because I know how incredibly difficult their job is. But these are simple steps that help preserve and in these types of cases a lot quicker if we can just get law enforcement to follow the damn directive. Case after case. I mean, am I not supposed to be frustrated here that we deal with these cases after case, and every blessed time we deal with one of these children, we already have DCS involved, yet the child disappears? I am sick and tired of this. What in the world is the purpose of the Department of Children and Family Services to take care of these blessed children just to have them disappeared and most likely deceased? I'm getting sick and tired of having having the same damn case come before me week after week, month after month, year after year, and it's the same blessed story, just a different child's face. Something's got to give. Let me give you the details and then we'll go over the risk assessment. Because I think the details are what you guys need to hear because you'll understand my anger. You'll understand my anger. This child was 13 years old. She was raped. Since YouTube is unable to understand that we have atrocities out there that we should be able to talk about, we get censored on here for talking about real world stuff. And the bottom line is this child, God knows if it was for drugs or whatever, or if her mom did it, or her mom has a boyfriend living in there that did it, but they believe this 13-year-old child was pregnant. There is a possibility of this child, because of the SA allegations, 13 years old, and because she's now missing, I believe her mother knows exactly who the father of that child is. I don't play when it comes to these children, but I want you to listen to this because it's this right here that makes me sick. This is the girl's mom. She looks like she's out there in the street. All I know is I believe this mother absolutely knows what happened to her daughter. I am not buying her bullshit. Not buying it one bit. Not buying it one bit. Child's missing. Let's see how she's reacting to her child missing. One that was just ARD, living in a gang-infested area. Let's see how Mommy Dearest is acting about this whole situation.
Ja'Niyah, this message, this video, this is for you, and I just want you to know that I want you home. I need you at home. It's been very, very difficult without you here. We all miss you. I want you to know that we love you, and whatever you're dealing with, we can deal with together as a family. You're not dealing with it on your own. This has become bigger than what...
Not dealing with it on your own. This is Mom. She has the responsibility of protecting her child. Her child was ARD. Her child disappears. And she's, oh, well, come home. We're happy to help you any way we can. Now, I also want to remind you, this was done about a week. She had not seen her child in a week. No tears. No begging her to come home. She's talking like she's talking to a friend.
All of us even thought it can become. And you have so much support out here. You have so many family members out here. We even have your real dad's mom out here, and they're involved.
We even have your real dad's mom out here. This lady, I'm sorry, my bullshit detector is literally going through the roof right now. It's literally going through the roof right now.
Dad's mom out here, and they're involved. Everybody wants to get to know you, and we just want you home. There's no reason that you have to be out in the street. You have everything you need at home. Everything you want, you can have. We want you and just you. There's nothing greater than what you're going through. We need you at this point.
Her child was ARD. She may be impregnated from that SA assault. And her mom is staring straight at this. Oh my, we just want you to come home. We're here for you. She's playing the part pretty damn well.
Come home. Just come home. You don't have to be scared. There's no punishment behind it. You won't have to.
There's no punishment behind it. Where does that sound familiar from? Very disingenuous. Very disingenuous. Very disingenuous. I think this lady here, it was one of her friends that did this to her daughter. It may even have been her boyfriend. She may even be involved in whatever happened to her daughter to protect, because her daughter was potentially prego. Potentially prego. And we have this situation where we've got a mom on here casually speaking as if her daughter simply ran away. No concern, no urgency that her daughter has gone through this traumatic experience and is now missing. I'm sorry, but if my child went through a traumatic experience like R and was disappeared, I think I would be losing my blessed mind wondering what happened to her. Because if her mom actually believes that she would run away from home, then she clearly wasn't getting the type of nurturing she needed after such an event. And what did this mother do as far as counseling or getting her therapy that she needs after a violent attack like that? She's 13 years old. 13. And I got a mother here that doesn't look like she gives a shit.
Deal with anything but embrace of love. We're going to just deal with the situation and take it from there. Whatever you feel you want, we can work on that together. It's not just going to be what mommy wants. It's not going to be what grandma's want or mama Kiara wants. It's what Ja'Niyah wants. And mommy's going to give you what you want, but we're going to work on that together. So you are more than welcome home. And I promise you, you are not in trouble.
Not in trouble again. Sounds just like Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot.
So don't think you're in trouble. Don't stay.
You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. This is the same playbook at the beginning that Chris and Katie used. Another Madeline Soto. I believe so. I don't trust this lady. I don't trust this lady. And I look at her daughter and I'm thinking to myself, her daughter looks so much like her. It's like her mini-me. And quite frankly, this lady to me, I feel is a drug addict. She's got her teeth. She's got the blue eyes. But there's something about the way the eyes blink that I always can tell if somebody is on, say, medication. And maybe it's just my years dealing with it, right? Dealing with people that are on stuff. I had my substances. It wasn't pills or anything like that, but I had my substances. And I've been around a lot of people that have had their substances.
Stay out longer because you feel like you're going to be in trouble when you get home. There's no trouble behind this. This is the trouble. So the next step now is to get everything together so you can be comfortable and be home. I love you, Ja'Niyah, so much. We all love you. Everyone. We're all coming together for you, your grandmas, all of them. Yeah, I'm even talking with Nana. We're all just coming together for you. Everybody's.
I can't listen to her anymore. I don't like her. I don't trust her. I don't believe her. I don't believe her. She reported her daughter missing August 11th or 12th. Where's my paperwork? August 11th. And the family is reportedly last seen. She still didn't call the report in until August 12th, 24 hours later. I don't trust this mother, especially with family coming forward and saying, wait a minute, we haven't heard from her since June. Since June 2024. So it was over a June, July. So you got June, July, and then August. So you got almost 3 months, and then a day. So there she's the mom, the woman that you just saw here, is telling law enforcement on the 12th that the last time she saw her daughter was on the 11th. But her history shows she has a great relationship, not great, but she spoke to her. I don't know if it's great or not. I don't want to put that assessment on there, but she had at least a conversation type of relationship with other family members that abruptly came to a halt in June. So I'm looking more at this lady and who this lady has had around her daughter. I don't believe this was a child walking down the road and a stranger danger attacked her, R'd her, and sent her home to her mommy. I think there's something more here. I wouldn't be surprised if this lady here got paid for some of it. That's how strongly I feel about this mom. That's how strongly I feel about this mom. So they're living in a gang-influenced area, which I'm pretty sure her mama's probably dating some of those gangbangers, bringing those gangbangers in and around her impressionable young child, those gangbangers that don't care what age that the children are. They just have a sick, twisted, they want what they want and they want it now type of mentality. And if they don't get it, they become violent. That's what gang infested areas have. Now, I don't want to ever beat up on good, hard-working people that live in this country and have no choice but to live there. That's a hard situation, which we know. We have a place called like the Pork and Beans neighborhood in Miami that's riddled with a lot of drugs and crime and stuff like that. But you meet people all the time in that area that are just good Christian people that have lack of education, lack of good jobs, are working, older people like grandparents working to take care of their grandchildren. It's a really sad situation, but we do see it. And there are great people that live in these drug-riddled areas because they can't afford anything else. They're forced into this lifestyle because of money. This lady here, she looks like a well-bodied individual, if you ask me. Why isn't she working her ass off to get her family up out of those gang infested areas? Why isn't she going back to school to make sure this doesn't happen to any of her other children? Why isn't she working hard to move out of that community and get her family safe? Because she's part of the problem. That's why. She's part of the problem. If foul play is involved, potential motives could include trafficking, retaliation or gang activity, or personal conflict. Now, the retaliation and gang activity, I would assume, would have been perpetrated upon mom as well. But you can see mom sitting here. She doesn't seem to have any bruises on her. She doesn't seem to be beat up in any type of way. So my wonder is this her beau? Is this mommy's beau that did this to her daughter? And she needs to shut it up because she doesn't want to lose her man. I don't know. I'm usually not this hostile with moms, especially coming right into the case. But there's enough that I've researched today that has really got my craw to the point I'm calling this mama out. I'm calling this mama out. Psychological autopsy. A psychological autopsy is used when manners of death or disappearance is unclear, examining the victim's background, mental state, and relationships. Since Ja'Niyah's fate is unknown, a full autopsy is not possible, but relevant factors include prior trauma, family environment, and social isolation. The alleged R reported to the Department of Children and Family Services could have caused significant psychological distress, potentially leading to PTSD, anxiety, or withdrawal, which may have affected her behavior or vulnerability. Family environment. The lack of contact with extended families and reported DCS involvement suggests a potentially unstable or stressful home life. I believe it. It doesn't even look like her mom gives a crap, which could impact her emotional state. Social isolation. The cessation of communication with family during the summer may indicate isolation, either imposed or self-initiated, increasing her risk of unnoticed victimization. Behavioral profile. Pre-disappearance, maintained regular contact with extended family via phone and video calls, indicating a degree of social engagement. Likely attended school until June 2024, suggesting a structured routine during the academic year. Alleged victim of prior SA, which have altered her behavior, withdrawn, fearfulness, trust issues, disappearance, period. No confirmed sightings after June per family or August per mother, indicating a significant break in her usual patterns. No reported attempts to contact family or friends, unusual given her prior regular communication, suggesting possible coercion, incapacitation, or foul play. Routine predictability. As a minor, Ja'Niyah routine was likely predictable. Home, school, family, making her vulnerable to someone familiar with her schedule. Social exposure. Regular family contacts suggest low isolation during the school year, but the summer break and cessation of communication indicates a shift to a higher vulnerability. Environmental risks. Living in a high crime area with potential gang activity increased her exposure to dangerous individuals or situations, even if she did not actively engage in high risk behavior. She was 13 years old. Runaway versus foul play. Runaway hypothesis initially classified as a runaway, but the lack of contact, her young age, and FBI suspicion of foul play makes this less likely. Runaways typically leave some trace, which is another reason why we don't believe the mother and the stepfather in Sebastian Rogers' case, because they leave some trace. And in that particular case, as well as this one, there is no trace, implying cleanup. Another mommy dearest. Look at her. We're going to talk about her in just a second. So they say runaways typically leave some trace, which is absent here, much like the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. Foul play hypothesis is more plausible given the SBI's gang task force involvement, the search warrant, the family discrepancies, possible scenarios including abduction, trafficking, or harm by someone known to her. If targeted, Ja'Niyah's youth, potential isolation during summer, and prior victimization may have made her made an opportunistic target for predators or criminals in her environment. So, moving on with the psychological type of profile for Ja'Niyah is prior trauma reported of February 2024. Remember, by June, that was only 4 months later, she disappeared for forever. Likely caused significant psychological impact. Common outcomes includes PTSD, acute stress disorder, which is ASD, and comorbid conditions, anxiety, depression, self-harm behaviors, things of that nature. Developmental stage. At 13, Ja'Niyah was in early adolescence, a period marked by identified information, increased independence, and vulnerability to external influence. Trauma could exacerbate emotional instability or trust issues, making her more susceptible to manipulation and coercion. Family stressors. GCS investigation and family disputes suggest home environment with potential conflict or neglect. I believe this mother was very neglectful. I don't think she takes care of her kids well. This could lead to feelings of insecurity, low self-esteem, etc. Known traits. No specific personality data is available to find out whether she's resilient, withdrawn, introvert, and extrovert. However, her regular family contacts suggest some level of sociability and trust within familial relationships prior to the summer of 2024. Coping mechanisms. Adolescents with trauma may cope through avoidance, which is isolation from family, seeking support, prior family contact, or maladaptive behavior. The cessation of communication suggests possible external barriers to coping rather than voluntary withdrawal. So psychological vulnerabilities include the trust and manipulation, isolation, environmental impacts, which are great in her situation because of where she lives and the fact that this is her mother. Due to the sensitive nature of a missing minor, public information on Ja'Niyah associated is limited. No specific friends, peer, non-family associates are named in available sources. So the following are inferred or noted from the context, and that's school contacts. As presumed, middle school student, Ja'Niyah likely had classmates, teacher, but no names, specific relationships are documented. Investigators have sought witnesses who saw her during the summer of 2024 and suggest a lack of confirmed peer sightings. Let me put another, I want to make sure I have her picture up. I'm sick of looking at her mother. You guys, this should not be any surprise to you guys, because one thing I cannot stand is bad parents. That's the one thing I cannot stand is bad parents. So let's look at her. She deserves to have the She deserves to have the floor. I don't think she's ever been provided her voice, so we're going to give her voice. Investigators have sought out any witnesses that may have saw Ja'Niyah. The FBI Gang Task Force involvement implies potential exposure to individuals linked to local gang activities, though no direct connection to Ja'Niyah is confirmed. DCS is involved as of February 2024 due to the R allegations. Unknown offenders, if foul play is involved, associates could include unidentified individuals. Well, I would be tearing up the mama's background. She knows something. She knows something. No mother goes out and acts that damn calm when they think their recently R child disappears. It's one thing to have a runaway, a child that's constantly running away, and she runs away and you're like, just come home, you're not in trouble. I mean, I can understand that. I can understand that all day. We know our children, are aloof at times, right? So we can kind of gauge that. But this child was just R'd. And within 4 months disappeared off the face of this earth, and you got a mother standing up there saying, oh, honey, just come home. You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. What in the ever-loving you-know-what? That is beyond.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
These are the things we look for when we see parents out there advocating for their children. We know what this looks like and what it doesn't look like. Ja'Niyah McMichael is her mother. Ja'Niyah McMichael. Her father, which is estranged, however, he's been doing as much as he can to put his daughter out there, even though he has been an absent father. It looks like he's the push behind this. This absent father from this girl's life seems to be her saving grace right now. Wooda Rasta Rogers is her estranged biological father, not involved with Ja'Niyah's life, but paid child support. Contacted by DCS in February 24 regarding the R allegations and her living conditions, and he was interviewed by Missing, Lost, and Trafficked, expressing concern but limited involvement. Hey, you know what? I'll take a father that's been removed from his daughter's life if he's fighting for her. Even though he didn't have a relationship with his daughter, it seems like he's the only one fighting for her on her behalf right now. Dahlia Geraro, which is their maternal grandmother, claims no family contact with Ja'Niyah since the second week of June, contradicting the mother's timeline. So this is the maternal grandmother saying the mother is lying. Other extended family members reportedly had regular phone and video conversations with Ja'Niyah prior to the 2024. Her mother lied. Her mother didn't even report her missing for 2 months, close to 2 months after she went missing. I'm going to say that as a statement of fact. If Jasmine has a problem with it, she can reach out to Bullhorn Betty at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm happy to listen to what she may have to say about this. But at this point, I see her as a villain, not as a mother. Victimology, Ja'Niyah profile indicates a medium to high risk of victimology due to her age and gender in her high crime area. Investigative concerns, or considerations rather. The conflict between the mother's August 11th and the family's June timeline requires resolution. School records, peer statements, and digital footprints, phone activity could clarify when Ja'Niyah was last active. Gang connection, the FBI, and I think the reason why the gang is involved in this case so far up front, I don't believe it was her environment. I truly believe it's the people that her mother keeps company. Family scrutiny, the mother's evasiveness, right? It's always funny when you have a parent that is truly missing their child, how forthcoming they are. But just like the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, her mother, Ja'Niyah McMichael, likes to be evasive and lie. I can tell you that she's just got bit. Ja'Niyah McMichael, you're about to get your butt bit by the true crime community, because your child matters to us. Your child matters to us greatly, even though she didn't matter to you and you failed to protect her, Ja'Niyah. The conflict between the mother, the gang connections, the family scrutiny, the community outreach identified peers, neighborhoods, and school staff who saw Ja'Niyah in the summer of 2024 is critical. Current witnesses' accounts are limited to family. Limited to family. A lot of the same types of situation. Thank you, Panda Bear's mom. A lot of the same situation. Different face, right? Different face, different ethnicity than Sebastian Rogers, but a lot of the same details. A lot of the same details. Just a different face. Just a different face. No direct information on Ja'Niyah's personality, mental health, or other specific. I couldn't find anything on anything related to, outside of our assumptions of what she must have been going through by being AR'd and SA'd at such a tender age. I would expect that her to have some type of issues with that, but there's nothing that I could find related to her mental health or personality or specific associates limited to the depth of the profile. Speculation risks without confirmed details. Assumption about her psychological state or specific risk are based on general patterns and must be treated cautiously, which we are. This child was abused. This poor little child was abused. So there is a $20,000 reward to my people. I want this. If you guys have good content creators out there, I know we got Hindsight, we got Justin, we've got a lot of different creators that come here and take notice to this channel and some of the cases that we run and discuss. I would like to see our other content creators at least pick up a portion of this and run with it. We've got a serious problem here in Gary, Indiana, and we need to find this precious baby girl that has already been injured and hurt so bad at her tender age of 13. She is now 14, has been gone for nearly a year, and we need to bring this beautiful girl home. And I would say home to her family, but I never want her to be in her mother's custody again. I will tell you that. So I would say maybe her father or her maternal grandmother would be more suited for the role of parent when she comes home. So if you have any information, I'm going to ask that anybody reach out to law enforcement immediately, predominantly either the FBI or Gary Police Department in Indiana. There is a $20,000 reward that's on the books right now. There was a prior $10,000 reward. I don't know if that's been withdrawn or if that's going to be in addition to the $20,000 that was just put up by the FBI as well as Gary City Police Department. She deserves protection. She deserves to know that she feels safe. She deserves to know that whatever she's gone through will never happen to her again. But much like many of the cases that I cover, unfortunately, I think this child is already with our Lord. I think whoever AR'd her and may have impregnated her, I truly believe they're the ones that hurt her and took her out. They knew if she gave birth, they would be behind bars for the rest of their life. And she had every bit of the evidence against them growing inside her baby body. This is a problem that we face around this country where our children are preyed upon. And it really pisses me off that more social media platforms do not allow us to advocate for these children or to tell people their story, what happened to them, so we can help try to prevent it for future cases. But our social media, we have to remember, they limit our speech, but these are the social media accounts or social media platforms that also sell these children's photos, right? That allow that to happen on their platforms. that allow the sale of children and other things of SA to happen on their platforms, the sale of narcotics on their platform. They can't seem to stop any of that, but they can certainly seem to stop us from talking about it. And that's the problem I have with social media and social media platforms. And that's why it's so important that the true crime community support the content creators that are covering these cases. Because I can tell you, our social media platforms don't support us covering these cases and allowing you to know that these things are happening and where they're happening at. Because they think it's the privacy of the children, even though this is out there in the public forum. These are real life news stories. These are real life details to these news stories. This is a real life child that had to undergo through all of this. And when I come up here to tell her story, we get no compensation for the advocacy or the work that we do when it comes to these cases. Now, we talk about a child being kidnapped. We talk about, other high profile cases and are very much detail oriented and graphic with those. We're okay. But when our parents need to wake up and realize the vulnerabilities of our children around this new world that likes to prey on our children, we can't talk about it. Well, Bullhorn Betty's going to continue to talk about it. We're going to continue to put these victims front and center with or without compensation. She matters. Her story matters. We need to bring her home no matter what condition she is in. Again, this right here, this beautiful girl is Ja'Niyah McMichael. And I truly believe her mom knows what happened to her. If you have any information, please reach out. And finally, you can always send any information that you have or have acquired to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. We need help. Ja'Niyah needs your help. And for all my friendly content creators out there, I'm not asking you to take your whole channel and start going down this road. I'm just asking you to please take a few moments and advocate for Ja'Niyah. She deserves it and she's worth it. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We're going to be covering this case more. This is going to be one of the cases that we are going to deep dive into. It's because I feel very, very passionate about this case, and the details of this case really, really rub me the wrong way. Although I can tell you right now, it's not going to be a case that we're going to be able to do boots on the ground because it's in a drug-infested, gang-infested community, and I'm not subjecting myself to harm to go in there to cover this. But what we will do is we're going to raise our voices online as much as possible, and I'm going to condemn the shit out of this lady's mother, or this child's mother. So be prepared for that, because I'm sorry. She should have done more to protect her daughter. And this nonsense that I just saw on Facebook that her mom's like, oh, yeah, just come home. You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. I've heard that song and dance entirely too much. And I'm getting sick and tired of hearing that. These criminals that do things to their children, they need to find better statements to make than the same statements that we hear over and over and over again from one guilty parent to another guilty parent. Like I said, this is the same story, just a different face. God bless.